Voltaic cells. Objective: to learn how a voltaic cell works. Electrochemical cells that use an oxidation-reduction reaction to generate an electric current are sometimes referred to as galvanic cells. These cells work by spontaneously driving an electric current, which is measured in units of volts. As such, they are referred to as voltaic cells. The voltaic cell operates off the fact that various metals differ in their tendencies to lose electrons. For instance, zinc will lose electrons more readily than copper. Their structure consists of two separate half cells, or containers, each of which holds different types of electrolytes and metal electrodes. For the purpose of our experiment, we'll use zinc and copper as our electrodes, each of which will be immersed in an electrolyte solution of their own salts, namely zinc sulfate and copper sulfate. The two half cells will be at least 2/3 immersed in electrolytes and linked to one another by a wire, as well as a salt bridge. Reactions will occur separately on the surface of the metal electrodes. The electrode on which oxidation occurs is the anode and is marked as negative. Here in our experiment, the zinc electrode is the anode. The zinc atoms will provide electrons and will be oxidized to form Zn2+ ions. The positive ions will move into the aqueous solution, consequently reducing the mass of the zinc electrode. The electrons which are liberated in this reaction will flow through the zinc metal, across the wire bridge, and into the copper electrode. At the copper electrode, reduction will occur. Because of this, the electrode is known as the cathode and is marked as positive. The two electrons received by the copper electrode convert a copper ion from the electrolyte into an uncharged copper atom, which deposits over the copper electrode and increases the mass. The negative sulfate ions will move from the copper sulfate solution and into the zinc sulfate solution across the porous salt bridge. The flow of electrons through the external wire will cause the current to flow. For the voltaic cell to continue producing an electric current, the sulfate ions in the electrolytes must be able to move between the cells. Voltaic cells are the basis for the batteries we use in our daily lives. Summary: voltaic cells are built with two half cells, each of which contains a metal electrode in an electrolyte solution of its own salt. The anode is a negative electrode on which oxidation occurs. The cathode is a positive electrode on which reduction occurs.